On the afternoon of June the 18th, 1815, 400 grey horses charged into the valley at Waterloo, their riders cutting, slashing and cheering as they dealt a fatal blow to Napoleon's last gasp attempt for dictatorial dominance in Europe.
Now, Scots Greys! Now!
For the cries of "Scotland forever!" The charge by the Royal Scots Greys, described as the greatest thunderbolt ever launched by British cavalry, left Napoleon reeling as he witnessed the devastation of his infantry by what he called les terribles chevaux gris. Out from the bloody ranks of those terrible grey horses rode a formidable soldier, a Kilmarnock son, noted for his brilliant horsemanship, expert swordsmanship, and his giant stature at 6 feet 4 inches. Mounted on his fearless steed Jock, and using his sword to terminal effect, the emerging hero, Sergeant Charles Ewart, dispatched 3 escorts and the bearer to seize the Eagle Standard from the French Lieutenant Standard Bearer of the 45th Infantry, the Invincibles. Having witnessed this heroic act, Ewart's commanding officer ordered, "My brave fellow, take that to the rear. You have done enough." Reluctantly, Ewart was forced to withdraw and witness the carnage that was to befall their fellow soldiers as 200 men and 224 horses from the Greys fell in battle, either killed or wounded. But the heroic actions and sacrifices of Ewart and the Greys that day were enough to help the Duke of Wellington's Anglo-Allied army defeat Napoleon's imperial force once and for all, and secure their place in history as the epitome of Scottish courage, fortitude, and daring. Ewart was instantly promoted to ensign on the orders of the Prince Regent and went on to become a legendary hero. He fought for his comrades, his regiment, and his country, and brought great honour to them all. His remains lie in a special tomb on the esplanade at Edinburgh Castle, and his captured eagle enjoys pride of place in the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards Museum within the castle nearby. His picture, by famous artist Richard Ansdell, hangs in the great banqueting hall of the castle, and his name lives on in a nearby pub, the Ensign Ewart, at the top of Castle Hill. The fame achieved by Sergeant Ewart and the brave men of the Royal Scots Greys on the field of Waterloo lives on to this day in their descendant regiment, the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, whose cap badge features the captured French Imperial Eagle. Scotland's only cavalry regiment, the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, formed by the amalgamation of the Royal Scots Greys and the 3rd Carabineers in 1971, have added to their antecedents' outstanding history through their part in modern-day conflicts around the world, most recently in Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, trading the grey horses of their forebears for the formidable crushing might of Challenger tanks. Also famed around the world for the hit Amazing Grace, which topped the British charts for 6 weeks, the regiment, now 336 years old, is finally returning to Scotland in 2015 to a new home at the former RAF Luchas Air Base in Fife, and their homecoming coincides with the commemoration events for the 200th anniversary of Waterloo. The regiment's iconic role as heavy cavalry at Waterloo has been echoed in its recent history on tanks during the Cold War and in recent conflicts. Last year this came to an end as the regiment said goodbye to its last Challenger tanks in November. As part of wider developments across the services, the Scots GG have been selected to take on the most exciting new role in the Army, the light cavalry. With the ability to move at lightning speed and retain the unique cavalry trait of mounted fighting, the regiment's new vehicle, the Jackal, has been battle-tested in the heat of Afghanistan, a theatre from which they've returned for the 3rd and last time earlier this year. As Scotland welcomes home her cavalry, the heroes of today will pay homage to the heroes of 2 centuries ago, whose fearless actions released the grip of tyranny and provided inspiration and motivation for generations of soldiers to this day. Scotland will celebrate the return of her Desert Rats heroes in 2015, but we must also celebrate and commemorate the sacrifice and valiant deeds of their lion-hearted predecessors who fought, died and prevailed on the battlefield of Waterloo. And to that end, the Greys being mustered to ride again. It's hoped A troop of grey horses and riders will bring Scotland's history alive as they take the tale of Waterloo on parade behind marching bands and pipes and drums through major cities including Edinburgh, Glasgow, Perth and Dundee. Along with other Scottish and British units linked to the 1815 battle, the troop of Greys will reenact the famous Union Brigade charge at Waterloo during commemorations at the battlefield in Belgium in June. And the glorious deeds of Sergeant Ewart will be lauded and applauded in his hometown of Kilmarnock, where a special event attended by the mounted troop will take place. The Greys will also march to honour the redoubtable Duke of Wellington on June the 28th at an event hosted by Lord Lothian at his Monteviot House home, where pageantry, music and fireworks will combine in celebration of Waterloo's conquering commander. Scotland has never been short of heroes, but it is the outstanding valour of warriors such as Sergeant Ewart, who faced suicidal odds to seize the enemy standard, and the fearlessness of those cavalrymen charging into the jaws of hell that set them apart as being, as the Scots Greys' own motto says, second to none.